Understanding the Israel-Gaza War. The Israel-Gaza conflict has been a long-standing and complex issue that has garnered international attention and sparked heated debates.
We are putting a complete siege on Gaza. No electricity, no food, no water, no gas, it's all closed.
In order to truly comprehend the origins and intricacies of this conflict, it is essential to delve into the historical context of both Israel and Palestine. By exploring the history, nature, people, language, economy, and politics of these two nations, we can gain a comprehensive understanding of how this conflict came to be and its current state. In this article, we will uncover the historical roots of Israel and Palestine, examine the impact of Israel's development on Palestine, analyze how the war started, provide an overview of the current situation, present statistics and facts, discuss expectations for the future, and offer personal perspectives from both countries. Historical context: the origins of Israel and Palestine. The present conflict traces its origins to the year 1917, when Arthur James Balfour, the British Foreign Secretary, issued the Balfour Declaration of 1917, supporting the home for the Jewish people in Palestine. After the First World War, the League of Nations gave the United Kingdom the mandate to rule Palestine. The Arabs resisted British rule, leading to a revolt in 1936. The British crushed the rebellion and promised to restrict Jewish immigration, which was on the rise. Soon, the Jewish militias were formed to resist the British rule and to fight local Arabs. The Second World War and Holocaust resulted in growing support for the Jewish state and many more Jews fleeing to British Mandatory Palestine. After Jewish resistance also turned violent, the British handed the issue to the newly formed United Nations, with the United Nations in 1947 voting to partition Palestine into two separate states, one for Jews and the other for the Palestinian Arabs. Israel accepted the UN plan and declared independence, whereas most Palestinians saw the UN plan as a form of European colonialism. Many neighboring states declared war on Israel to create a unified Arab Palestine instead of British Palestine. In addition to winning the war, Israel also advanced the UN-planned borders, capturing the western portion of Jerusalem and driving out a large number of Palestinians from their homes, leading to a severe refugee crisis in the West Bank and Gaza Strip. After the armistice agreements between Israel and both Jordan and Egypt in 1949, Israel came to occupy a lot of the Palestinian territory, with Egypt controlling Gaza and Jordan holding the West Bank. In 1967, Israel and the neighboring Arab states fought another war, which Israel won, occupying the whole of the Palestinian territories and seizing the Golan Heights from Syria and the Sinai Peninsula from Egypt. Israel since has come to govern the Palestinian territories, with Israel and Egypt signing the U.S.-brokered Camp David Accords in 1978, returning the Sinai Peninsula to Egypt and normalizing relations with each other. Thus, what began as de facto borders has since started evolving into internationally recognized de jure frontiers. The Palestine Liberation Organization, PLO, was created in the 1960s to seek a Palestinian state through all means, including violent methods. The international community took a significant step in 1972 by permitting PLO in the United Nations Security Council, UNSC. The UN General Assembly decided to grant Palestine non-member observer status in November 2012. Nature and Geography: Exploring the Land and Climate. The Israel-Gaza conflict, often referred to as the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, is a long-standing and intricate geopolitical issue in the Middle East. While the core of this conflict is not nature and geography, understanding the land and climate in the region can shed light on some critical aspects of the ongoing tensions. Geography. The conflict is primarily concentrated in two main territories: Israel and the Gaza Strip. Israel is situated in the eastern Mediterranean region, while the Gaza Strip is a small coastal enclave in the southwest of Israel. The Gaza Strip is a relatively tiny piece of land, covering roughly 360 square kilometers. It's wedged between the Mediterranean Sea to the west and shares land borders with Israel and Egypt. The confined size and geographic isolation contribute to its high population density. Israel, on the other hand, is a more extensive and more diverse country in terms of geography. Its landscape varies from coastal plains to mountains and includes desert regions like the Negev in the south. The conflict has had an impact on a number of locations in Israel, particularly those close to the Gaza Strip, the West Bank, and Jerusalem. Climate. Both Israel and the Gaza Strip experience a Mediterranean climate. This means they have hot, dry summers and mild, wet winters. The atmosphere has significant implications for agriculture and water resources, which are vital issues in the conflict. The region also grapples with water scarcity. Access to water resources is a contentious point in the conflict due to the limited availability of fresh water. In addition to water concerns, extreme temperatures can be challenging, particularly in the desert regions of southern Israel, such as the Negev. These temperature extremes impact living conditions and agriculture in these areas. The Gaza Strip's proximity to the Mediterranean Sea affects the climate and livelihoods of its residents, including the local fishing communities. It's crucial to remember that while geography and climate play a role in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, the heart of the matter lies in historical, political, and cultural factors. The conflict encompasses complex issues relating to territory, borders, refugees, security, and the rights and aspirations of both Israelis and Palestinians. To address these issues, in addition to geographic and environmental factors, an extensive understanding of the political and historical background is crucial. People and culture, embracing diverse societies and traditions. The Israel-Gaza conflict is a deeply rooted and long-standing geopolitical issue that has caused significant suffering and division. It primarily revolves around political, territorial, and security concerns. But it's essential to remember that within these areas live diverse communities with rich traditions. In the midst of conflict, we should explore how people and culture can bring hope, unity, and understanding, helping bridge divides and pave the way for peaceful coexistence. A rich tapestry of cultures. The region encompassing Israel and Gaza is a melting pot of cultures and traditions with centuries of history. Israel hosts Jewish, Arab, and Christian communities, each contributing to the region's cultural diversity. Gaza, on the other hand, is predominantly Palestinian Arab and has its own unique heritage. Within this complex mosaic, the Israel-Gaza conflict often overshadows the beautiful cultural diversity that thrives here. Jewish, Arab, and Christian traditions coexist harmoniously, enriching the region with their languages, art, music, and cuisine. It's important to recognize and celebrate this cultural mosaic, cultural resilience in the face of conflict. Despite the ongoing conflict, the people of Israel and Gaza have displayed incredible resilience in preserving their cultural heritage. Art, literature, music, and dance continue to flourish, offering an outlet for self-expression and a testament to the enduring spirit of the communities. In Israel, the vibrant art scene in Tel Aviv showcases the fusion of cultures. The city's diverse population contributes to its thriving culinary scene, where Middle Eastern and European flavors harmoniously coexist. In Gaza, the rich history of Arabic literature has produced numerous renowned poets and authors. Traditional Palestinian art, such as embroidery and calligraphy, remains an integral part of Gaza's cultural identity, reflecting the resilience of its people. The power of cultural diplomacy. Cultural diplomacy plays a pivotal role in easing tensions in the Israel-Gaza conflict. International actors, including the United Nations and various NGOs, have recognized the importance of cultural exchange in building bridges between communities. Cultural diplomacy initiatives involve exhibitions, music festivals, and educational programs that aim to foster cross-cultural understanding. These initiatives not only promote appreciation for the diverse societies and traditions within Israel and Gaza, but also help reshape perceptions of the conflict on the global stage. Language and religion, lingual and spiritual diversity. The Israel-Gaza conflict is a deeply entrenched and intricate issue, with language, religion, and spirituality all playing pivotal roles in shaping the ongoing tensions in the region. This article seeks to explore how these elements contribute to the dynamics of the conflict, shedding light on the nuances of this long-standing struggle. Language as a barrier and bridge. Language diversity is a significant aspect of the Israel-Gaza conflict. Hebrew is the official language in Israel, whereas Arabic is widely spoken in Gaza and other Palestinian territories. These linguistic differences can sometimes hinder effective communication and mutual understanding between the two sides. Nevertheless, in diplomatic negotiations and official documents, English and other international languages often serve as a common medium for communication among the various parties involved. Religion, a core element. Religion is undeniably at the core of the conflict. In Israel, Judaism is the dominant religion, and the Israeli state's identity is closely intertwined with Jewish heritage and history. The narrative of the war is significantly shaped by the Jewish people's deep historical ties to the territory of Israel. Given that Muslims make up the bulk of the people in Gaza, Islam is very important to them. One of more religious component. Tensions unfortunately rise as radical forces on both sides use religious themes to further their political objectives. The holiest places in Islam is the Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem, which gives the conflict an even more religious component. Tensions unfortunately rise as radical forces on both sides use religious themes to further their political objectives. Spiritual connection to the land. Both Israelis and Palestinians have deep spiritual connections to the land they inhabit. This profound connection influences their unwavering commitment to maintaining control over specific territories. The belief in a historical and spiritual right to the land intensifies the conflict, making it even more challenging to find a peaceful resolution. Interfaith cooperation and ethical concerns. Amidst the strife, some actively seek peaceful solutions. Interfaith dialogues and collaborations among peace activists and religious leaders from both sides have played a crucial role in promoting understanding and peace efforts. Regardless of religious affiliation, many individuals and groups share common values of compassion and justice. These common ideals serve as the impetus behind attempts to resolve the humanitarian issues brought on by the conflict and to find a fair and long-lasting settlement that upholds the rights and dignity of all parties. In conclusion, the Israel-Gaza conflict is a multifaceted issue, with language, religion, and spirituality serving as fundamental components. Recognizing and respecting these aspects is vital to resolving the dispute and fostering lasting peace in the region. Understanding the diverse perspectives and experiences of those involved is crucial, as it paves the way for a fair and equitable resolution that upholds the rights and dignity of all parties. Economy, economic development, and challenges. The economies of Israel and Palestine have been deeply affected by the conflict. Israel has achieved remarkable economic development, becoming known for its technological innovation, high-tech industry, and agricultural advancements. However, the economic disparities between Israel and Palestine are stark, with Palestinians facing numerous challenges, including restricted access to resources, limited mobility, and high unemployment rates. Palestinians have sought to establish their economic institutions and promote self-sufficiency. Despite these efforts, the Israeli occupation and various restrictions have hindered their economic development. The financial aspects of the conflict are closely tied to political and diplomatic dynamics, making it a complex issue to address. Politics, governments, conflicts, and diplomacy. Complex relationships, conflicts, and attempts at diplomacy characterize the political landscape of Israel and Palestine. Israel operates under a parliamentary system with a multi-party democracy. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict has been a central issue in Israeli politics, with various political parties advocating for different approaches to the conflict. Palestine, on the other hand, has a semi-presidential system and has faced challenges in establishing a unified government due to internal divisions. The conflict has also been a significant factor shaping Palestinian politics, with various factions and organizations involved in resistance movements and negotiations. Impact on Palestine, Israel's development and its effects. The founding and growth of Israel has dramatically impacted Palestine. Major contentious issues have included the expulsion of Palestinians and the construction of Israeli settlements in the West Bank and East Jerusalem. Palestinian territory has been divided, and their access to resources has been restricted as a result of the building of a separation barrier and the growth of settlements. In addition, a major humanitarian catastrophe has arisen in Gaza as a result of the ongoing conflict, with regular military operations and a harsh siege limiting the flow of people and goods. The Palestinian population has been negatively impacted by the socio-economic fallout from the conflict, which has made health problems, unemployment, and poverty worse. The Israel-Gaza conflict, how the war started. The Israel-Gaza conflict, also known as the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, has a complex and multifaceted history. Zionism's rise in the late 19th century and the Jewish immigration wave that followed to Palestine are the leading causes of the war. An increase in hostilities between Arab settlers and Jewish settlers resulted in a string of conflicts and violent altercations. The June 2014 kidnapping and murder of 3 Israeli teens by Hamas militants served as the direct cause of the Israel-Gaza war. This incident set off a series of events that ultimately resulted in Israel launching a full-scale military intervention in the Gaza Strip. The conflict caused enormous damage to infrastructure and human lives, further widening the gulf between Israelis and Palestinians. Current situation. A brief overview. The current situation in Israel and Palestine remains tense and volatile. Despite occasional periods of relative calm, the conflict continues to simmer beneath the surface. Efforts at peace negotiations and diplomatic initiatives have yielded limited results, with deep-rooted mistrust and conflicting interests hindering progress. Both Israelis and Palestinians have been affected by the ongoing violence and instability, with fear and uncertainty overshadowing daily life. External factors, regional dynamics, and the influence of international actors further complicate the situation. Statistics and facts. Understanding the numbers. To gain a comprehensive understanding of the Israel-Gaza conflict, it is crucial to examine the statistics and facts related to the conflict. Since its inception, the conflict has resulted in thousands of fatalities and injuries on both sides. The impact on civilian populations, particularly children, has been devastating. The conflict has also resulted in significant economic losses, with infrastructure and resources being destroyed. The humanitarian situation in Gaza remains dire, with limited access to clean water, adequate health care, and education. These statistics and facts highlight the urgent need for sustainable solutions and lasting peace. Expectations for the future. Hopes and challenges. The Israel-Gaza conflict, an enduring source of global concern, presents a complex tapestry of historical, political, and cultural elements. As we turn our gaze toward the future, a panorama of hopes and challenges unfolds. Hopes for the future. peace and reconciliation. Foremost among our aspirations is the achievement of a lasting peace and reconciliation between Israelis and Palestinians. The dream of a two-state solution, where both nations can coexist in security and dignity, remains a shared vision. Economic prosperity. Another optimistic prospect is the prospect of economic development and improved living standards for the region's inhabitants. Enhanced stability can pave the way for increased investments, trade, and opportunities for Israelis and Palestinians alike. Humanitarian relief. A sincere hope is the alleviation of the humanitarian crises plaguing Gaza. For the people living in the area, access to bare essentials like clean water, healthcare, and education should be guaranteed. Interfaith harmony. Promoting interfaith harmony and mutual understanding is a significant aspiration. Encouraging dialogue among religious leaders of various faiths can contribute to diminishing religious tensions and extremism. Challenges to surmount. Political stalemate. The deeply entrenched political divisions within the conflict present a formidable challenge. Ongoing disputes over borders, refugees, and the status of Jerusalem continue to obstruct the path to peace. Extremism. Extremist elements on both sides persist in perpetuating violence and undermining peace endeavors. Countering extremism and fostering moderation remains an ongoing challenge. Socioeconomic disparities. The substantial socioeconomic disparities between Israelis and Palestinians stand as a significant hurdle. These disparities can exacerbate tensions and hinder the process of reconciliation. Global engagement. The involvement of diverse international actors with their vested interests in the conflict adds complexity to the quest for a peaceful resolution. Striking a even balance among the needs and aspirations of all involved parties is a multifaceted undertaking. Historical trauma. Acknowledging the collective historical trauma experienced by both Israelis and Palestinians is an essential challenge. Confronting these deeply rooted historical narratives and grievances is vital for the journey towards reconciliation. As we look ahead, it is imperative to recognize these hopes and challenges. International cooperation, diplomatic efforts, and grassroots initiatives will be pivotal in addressing the intricacies of the Israel-Gaza conflict. The world watches and yearns for a future where both Israelis and Palestinians can coexist in peace and prosperity. Personal opinion. Perspectives from both countries. In any conflict, personal perspectives and opinions play a significant role. Israelis and Palestinians have diverse viewpoints and experiences shaped by their respective histories, identities, and aspirations. It is essential to listen to and understand the narratives and grievances of both sides in order to foster empathy, dialogue, and reconciliation. While there are certainly differing viewpoints, it is imperative to recognize the shared humanity and the desire for peace that exists within Israeli and Palestinian societies. By acknowledging and respecting these perspectives, we can move towards a more inclusive and just resolution of the conflict. Conclusion: seeking peace and understanding. The Israel-Gaza conflict is a complex and deeply rooted issue that requires a comprehensive understanding of the historical context, nature, people, language, economy, and politics of both Israel and Palestine. By unraveling the historical origins, examining the impact on Palestine, analyzing how the war started, understanding the current situation, and exploring statistics, facts, expectations, and personal perspectives, we can foster empathy, dialogue, and reconciliation. Ultimately, the goal should be to seek peace and understanding between Israelis and Palestinians. In order to tackle the underlying reasons behind the conflict and progress towards an equitable and durable resolution, collaboration amongst all stakeholders, both local and international, is vital. Untangling the intricacies of the Israel-Gaza conflict and constructing a future of harmony and cooperation can only be achieved by sincere communication, reciprocal regard, and a dedication to our shared humanity.